Yeehaw. Oh, that was fun. All right, we're heading back home to sunny South Florida because this snow shit is for the birds. Going to talk a little bit about the two fields I went to today. I'm actually doing it across all of my channels, but Restream's not working, so here we go. All right, so uh, instead of doing a trifecta, I did a bifecta. So two airsoft fields in 2 days, and two totally different fields too. So that was kind of interesting and awesome. Um, Let me set up live chat. There we go. All right. Okay. See if I can. I don't know if I can see the chat while it's on mobile, but anyways. Um, so yesterday we got asked to come up to go to Crucible Airsoft to do. Hey, what's up? Hi, Lenny. Um, to do a charity event uh, at Crucible Airsoft for the battle bus. What's up, Dylan? So went there, had a blast. They helped us raise money for the battle bus, which in turn is really going to go to help Damien at this point. Hi, Lenny. How you doing? So we turned around and raised quite a bit of money. The entire day, I think we raised around $1,100. Oh, hi. You're just going to keep saying hi, Lenny? Um, so we raised around $1,100, which is great because that puts us closer to the $22,000 goal that we need for Damien. Um, So right now I'm heading back home, and I'm heading home in the middle of a fucking snowstorm. So thanks, Crucible. But no, all kidding aside. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to rate fields on a couple of things. The field, the theme of the field, staff, pro shop, player base, and game mode. So six categories right now. Um, Actually seven, refreshment as well. So let's break this up a little bit and break it down. This is a sneak peek for the videos we're going to put up with it. So um, there's going to be a couple of caveats to this. Like usually I like to be at a field a few times to really learn the player base there, to make some assumptions and everything about the field. But I feel pretty confident in what I'm about to say with these particular fields. So away we go. All right, so Crucible Airsoft, talk about the overall theme. There isn't too much of a theme to speak of. So theme is really low. It's only about a 4 out of 5. I mean, you have the staples of a field with it, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but there's really no theme to speak of. If Crucible Airsoft had like a baller theme, like maybe say something like along the lines of S&S Airsoft, that field would be badass. 100% badass. The layout's great and everything else. So let's talk about the actual field now, since the theme is low. Not much to talk about the theme. Move on to the next category, which is the actual field layout, the obstacles, and all that. So the way they have it set up is actually pretty nice. It is an L-shaped field, which they use the space effectively. So there is sort of almost a dead space around the near spawn, which is the nearest to the door, which is okay. I mean, a lot of times none of the objectives were placed over there, so there was no reason for enemy teams to go near that spawn, although I did. But on a whole, the field itself, most of their objectives and most of their gameplay keeps you towards more of the set. Oh, fuck. That was fun. Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Lenny. Love Airsoft. Um, so when it comes down to Crucible's layout, the layout is actually really nice. They got a lot of cool angles. They got a lot of interesting spots which you can cut from, you can shoot from. A lot of interesting attack modes that you can get into, and just a lot of cool lanes that you could fire from. The firefights are intense, close quarters CQB, tons of fun. All right, so for the field itself, it's a solid 7 out of 10. You know, for the layout and everything else. Some of the obstacles, like they self right, you call them up and ask me, they'll admit you need some updating, but with the price of lumber and everything that was last year because of COVID, not surprising that a lot of that stuff hasn't been updated yet. But look for some good stuff on Crucible. I think they're going to bring it down, which goes into the next portion of that, which is the staff. Staff is 10 out of 10, hands down. Some of the best staff I've experienced in a while when it comes to an airsoft field. Not only were they knowledgeable, respectful, and right there to help people out, but they were also incredibly fair. And if you had proof that something was going on, you could show it on camera, they dealt with it immediately. You'd be surprised at how many times you go to these fields and they just won't do anything about it. Um, hey, what's up, Lone Husky? Just driving through snow, in the middle of a blizzard. Um, so, um, so when it comes down to the staff there, there was plenty of refs on the field, which is always great. That's always a major concern that you don't have enough refs on the field. And the other thing that they also did was, besides having like refs that were in the red plate carriers or red vests walking around or standing up in towers, you also had a couple of refs that were also playing at the same time, which is actually kind of good because you can turn back to a referee and say, "Yo, this guy's doing this or this guy's doing that," and they can go through and they can see it for themselves because they can go up and play against there. They had a big thing on their chest that said referee, but if you weren't looking, you didn't see it, which most of the time players don't look for that. They can see the exact same thing, and then they can address bad behavior like no hit calling, blind firing and stuff like that. I've been good, man. I was out of state. That's why. Um, so, um, so the staff, like I said, 10 out of 10, hands down. They had their rules down pat and everything else. Going on to the games, we played quite a few different games. I think I played in 4 games total while we were there. Oh, shit. The gameplay modes was, let's see, we did 2 TDMs. I guess we can count them out. 2 TDMs, 2 capture the flags, and then so 5 games, and then a football game, which was like making sure that we captured 6 games because we also did the bank game. So 6 games total. I knew I played a lot yesterday. So they have a wide selection of gameplay, which is awesome. Personally, I always look for like different objective-based games and all that, and going through other fields. And Crucible had that in spades, which is fantastic. Their pro shop has some stuff on the walls. Thank you. Um, the stuff that's on the walls. They have quite a few guns that are in stock. They have quite a few stuff to help you out, especially for all you HPA guys out there. And they got a knowledgeable staff. So and pretty much anything that you need, you can get inside that shop. So the pro shop, I mean, I wish it was a little bit bigger and they had more guns on the wall. So again, it's a solid 7 out of 10. They had a lot of stuff for what you guys needed, especially for gameplay there at Crucible. Refreshments. That's their first low score. Well, besides the theme. The refreshments, they didn't have a lot of refreshments there. They had some water, they had some Gatorade, but they have a wide selection. They didn't have anything really to eat until the food truck arrived. So I would say that out of that, it's a 4 out of 10. I mean, one of the things I think could really help that shop out, that would be a great addition, is that they actually get like a machine that you could actually put all the drinks inside of and have a wider selection of drinks for people. And then also a wider selection of snacks. But hey, minor nitpick, but that's what these reviews are for. So let's see what else. Player base. So let's talk about the player base for a second. So I can't give, I don't want to give a full breakdown, like a full review on the player base. I'll need to play at Crucible more. The tentative one right now is that the player base, I think, is like an 8 or a 9. However, when I was there on Saturday, there were some teams from out of state that came into play that were 1 out of 10. They weren't calling hits. It's either my upgraded PCC9, my OCA, or my Indestructible. So, so the problem that came up with the player base is that they were not calling hits. They were, I mean, and blatant too, which depends. It impacts the gameplay. It really, really does. Um, Things could have moved so much smoother and so much nicer if that one particular team just called their hits. Um, but unfortunately, they didn't. But I don't think that's indicative of the actual field because the staff in particular took immediate and firm action against those players and took them off the field for a game. And I think they ultimately got kicked out. I could be wrong. Um, but we'll have that updated information, honestly, on Tuesday's live stream. So when we stream, we're going to be streaming for a few hours. We're going to try to raise some money then and go from there. So, yeah, the field itself, fantastic. Had a blast, had a great time. Overall, my overall rating for an indoor field for that is 7 out of 10 for Crucible. Um, if they brought some more stuff, if they put a nice badass theme on there, I get a chance to play with more of the player base. I'm sure that score will go up. Um, but yeah, 7 out of 10. Highly recommend. Check out Crucible Airsoft. You can't beat the staff there. The staff makes for everything. They really do have a positive airsoft environment there that was just hampered a little bit by player base. And I really don't want to use the player base as a measure of whether or not it's a good field to go to because of how they responded, how they took those people off from. They took out the people that were causing problems pretty quick. All right. So moving on to today's gameplay. Again, I did not get a chance to play there that much. I went to MK Airsoft today. Um, MK Airsoft is located in MK Airsoft is located is in Ohio, and I forget the name. I can't really tell you what the name is. Um, but today, unfortunately, my plan was to play all day and then head home. Unfortunately, it started snowing a lot. So because of the snow and everything else, I had to get down. I had to get down to back to Florida, and I want to make sure I get through the mountains before a lot of snow goes up there. Um, so I'm running I'm chasing the storm south, and hopefully I'll get past the mountains before the snow hits, and I can get as far as home as possible as I can tonight. So I was only there for 2 games. Now, I will say when it comes down to let's talk about the theme. The theme of the field, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because there's the beginnings of a theme there. There's definitely particular buildings and stuff like that, particular structures. If it got rethemed and made into to look like stuff besides just your standard houses in the middle of the floor or the towers and all that, which we're going to talk about the layout in a minute, which is fantastic. There's just not too much of a theme to this particular field. Um, and when we compare it to somebody like SNS Airsoft that has a badass, awesome field, which is like the pinnacle. So I put, for theme wise for SNS, I'd put it as a 10. This one I'm putting as a solid 6. All right. So with that being said, let's talk about the field itself and the layout and all the stuff on the field. 10 out of 10. I wish there were more indoor fields built this way. You could tell that they put a lot of time and energy into construction of all of their obstacles. They just don't look like much, right? They don't look like any sort of theme or anything else, but they have an awesome bus game, a bus on there they've built out the interior of the bus, so it actually turns the bus into a kill house. Um, they have 2-story towers. They have multiple kill houses throughout the entire place. They even have a simulated tunnel, which is kind of cool. So for layout, one of the best layouts I've been on. The only smidge of a thing that they need to fix is that the second floor tower can almost shoot in the Charlie respawn base. Charlie base respawn point. Um, I would probably block off those windows or block off a way at least for them to be able to shoot down into Charlie spawn. Either put up some higher structures in place or whatever around it. Gabe did assure me that they're going to be building some more stuff to interconnect. So look forward to seeing what he does for the next time I go up there. Because I will be going back to MK Airsoft at some time. So, staff. Staff is a solid 8 out of 10. There were a couple people that did. I didn't get a chance to interact with them as much as I did at MK, so I'm giving that as that's one of those caveat ratings because I just didn't do too much with that. They seemed knowledgeable. They seemed personable. They got us on the field and did the gameplay. All the refs were on the field, which is always a dream. Gabe himself was actually on the field reffing, which I thought was awesome. The owners getting in and doing some stuff themselves. So really was. So I'd even give their staff a 9 out of 10 now that I think about it. I mean, there was nothing that piqued me off to say, oh, this is a problem. It was really, really solid, solid group of people there. So, all right, so I'm going up into the mountains, so I might lose you guys. If I do, I'll come back and I'll do another review of MK Airsoft. But so, this is gonna be interesting. All right, because of the connection issues, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. I'll be back later on tonight or tomorrow, and I'll talk about MK Airsoft fully. So I'll break it down to another video.